went to see it before it opened, and we immediately said that we would like the rights for America. That led to our negotiating for the rights. Cameron McIntosh was helpful in assisting us in acquiring the rights, and we met with Brian Brawley and Andrew in New York. But it started really on a rocky basis because we were only offered the rights to do the show in New York, period. And we rejected it. And Andrew was ready to walk out of the meeting. And I think Brian Brawley was extremely helpful in reaching an accommodation. Because after all, road rights, theaters outside of New York are very, very important. We mounted 4 touring companies of Cats. So we had these national companies touring the United States at the same time as the shows in New York. And Cats was a show that could tour easily. So there's no doubt about it, Cats was a phenomenal savior of certainly the road. Cats was really a mega hit, and it was the first of that kind. Putting a show into a theater represents a tremendous investment. And we had to make substantial changes in the Winter Garden Theater. We had a fire in our property, which is part of the Winter Garden Theater building. There was no fire in the theater, which we had just completely remodeled. But I never really understood what smoke damage was. And the smoke damage in the Winter Garden was extensive. And it lays a film over everything in the theater. So we had to redo it. And then, in the process of redoing it, we were asked if we would paint the theater up to a certain level black. Well, that sent shivers up and down our spine to do that, but we agreed. Then we were asked to paint it up to the balcony level, which we did. And finally, we were asked to paint the dome, which was magnificent, and the whole theater black, which we did. We then had to cut a hole in the roof so that Grisabella can ascend to heaven. Well, cutting a hole in the roof was also a intake of breath, but we got more publicity for doing that, which inured to the benefit of the show, than we had ever dreamed of. So the show not only came with the impetus of its London success, but it was enhanced because of the renovations that we made to accommodate the show. And it was a show that transcended critics' reviews. It had immediate appeal, not only to children, but to the family. The family knew, however, that their children would like the show. And children not only liked the show, they wanted to see it over and over and over again.
That are frisky and frolical, let my meaning be perfectly plain. But my name is intoxicating, and you better not do it again.
It was something inherently entertaining in Cats. The design was unique. The costumes were unique. The whole style of the show was something that had not been done before. Really, John Napier created an environmental effect for the show, and even though it was a slight thread of a story, it was sufficient enough to hang all of the various parts of the show on. So, and the songs, of course, were highly entertaining. And Memory, of course, caught on and became the identifying song for the show. So it had no stars, which is a great help for longevity of a show, because you can replace the cast members readily. The tagline, Now and Forever, came about at a marketing meeting we had at the advertising agency in New York. We had to say something that was so extravagant that it would immediately draw attention to itself. And the tagline, Now and Forever, was really something, again, that the critics cynically thought was so exaggerated as to be insulting, perhaps. But it nevertheless was repeated by the media so often, became part of the theatrical language.